Hey guys, so today I'm making a pair of shorts and I thought I would show you how to sew the pockets in. So I'm just making this pair of shorts. I got this pattern at Joann's and I am making pattern C, these basketball shorts. So hopefully this helps you if you're making this pair or any kind of shorts or anything you want pockets with. Hopefully this helps you. So let's get started. So the first thing I did was I cut out my patterns and I marked them. You want to make sure if you have a pattern that you're following, you're gonna mark the place where the pocket's gonna go. So this marks the opening, this line right here at the bottom, and then this line at the top. And this is on the front piece, the back piece, and the pocket piece. This is my pocket piece that I'm using. It's gonna be a pretty big, deep pocket, but these shorts are for men and they usually have bigger pockets. So their lines are gonna be right here and right here on the pocket. If you're making your own, you just want to decide how big of a space you want your hand to go into. Men generally have bigger hands than women do, so my hand definitely does not help. But you can kind of see, especially if you are making for women, you can make them smaller or you can do whatever you want. So just make sure you mark that on your fabric, and then you're going to take your fabric off. You can't really tell. Sorry, my pattern's kind of my fabric's kind of mesmerizing. So I have my pocket piece. This is the wrong side, and then this is the front piece of the shorts, and I have the right sides together, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to line up. You can't really tell, but here's my marking. I'm going to line that mark up with this mark, and the same with the bottom mark. I'm going to line those two up right here and right here, and I'm going to pin it. And then I'm going to baste the pocket on. This is especially helpful when you have stretchy fabric like I do. So I'm going to do that on the front, both left and right sides, and then on the back, left and right side. So do that now with all your pocket pieces. You should have 4 pocket pieces. So just make sure when you come to do your basting that you raise your stitch length as I usually just do as high as my machine will go, which is 5.0. That will just make nice long stitches that will be easier to take out in the long run. And I'm just going to baste all the way down the side of my pocket. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, once you have all your pocket pieces sewn to each leg piece, like the front right, front left, back right, back left, all the pockets are sewn to those pieces. And depending on your fabric, you are going to iron open your pocket piece. You're going to iron it so that it lays flat when you have it face up. So because of the fabric, I'm using like a nylon. It's like a swimsuit or a dance costume fabric. So it pretty much doesn't really need to be ironed. But I might iron it right here just at the seams so that it lays nice and flat and is clean. So then I'm going to baste my front piece to my back piece. Both pieces, and then I will stitch the pieces where I basted. The basting is just used to hold it in place, so when you're using a stretchy fabric like I am, it hopefully will sew a lot better and you will get a good seam and you won't be skewed off in a random direction. So it'll look a lot better. That is why we baste. So after we baste them, we're just going to sew a seam, but we're not going to sew a seam where our pocket opening will be. We basted that area in between here and here, but we are not going to stitch over it because then it'll be a lot harder to take out. So make sure you don't do that. So we're just doing, make sure you have ironed if you need to, then baste right side to back side, front side to back side, right sides together, and then sew them together without sewing the pocket piece together. So let's go do that. Once you've sewn your front piece, once you've sewn your front piece and your back piece together, this is what it will look like. You'll have a seam line for your side, and then an opening should still be there for the pocket. If I flip it around, you can see the back side. And here's my 2 pocket pieces. I haven't sewn them together yet, and that is actually what we are going to do next. So, especially with the fabric I'm using, you want to make sure you baste. I'm using like a dance swimming fabric. So if you're using anything silky, anything that'll move, pretty much anything, just it'll look so much better and turn out so much better if you baste first. So I'm going to suggest that definitely. So for this next part, all you have to do is line all your edges up of your pockets. So line both pieces up together. Make sure they're laying down correctly, and you're going to baste around the whole thing. And then once you've basted, you can then sew the whole thing. So that'll just make your stitching look a whole lot better at the end. And if yours pulls like mine does and stretches, it's going to turn out a lot nicer and neater. So once you're done with that, it should look like an actual pocket. And this is mine. So you can't, here's my seam right in there. That's my seam. Here's my pocket. And if I open up the two pieces, and then I can stick my hand in there, and that is a beautiful pocket. So do that, and then you are almost done. We have one more step, and then we'll be done. Once the edges of your pockets are all sewn, this is the wrong side, so you can see these are my right sides, these two are my wrong sides. Once those edges are sewn, the next step is we're going to sew the top piece, because right now it's just flopping around, our pocket is, and so we're going to sew it down. So you're going to sew it, right now we're just going to baste it, and then when you put your waistband in, or however you're going to finish the edge of your pants or shorts or whatever you're making off, that will then be fully stitched. So right now all you need to do is baste from the edge of your pocket to your seam, to your regular seam, and that'll just hold it down. So it will look just like this. So it'll still flap down here, but this way it stays to the front, and it'll just lay nicely in whatever type of bottom you're making. So that'll look great. And then when you look at it on the front side, it will look just like this. So you can't even barely see it's there. And then you'll just be able to slide your hand in, and there you have a nice big pocket. So you should be all set. And I suggest ironing if your fabric needs it. Definitely be ironing, and iron the creases on the outside of your pocket. So it'll lay a lot nicer, just depending on the type of fabric you have, especially if it's like a polyester. I did that once and it took a lot to iron, but it definitely looked a lot nicer at the end. So just make sure you do that. You can finish off your edges however you like. With my fabric, since it's not going to fray at all, I don't think I'm going to finish them off. I think I'm just going to cut them down so that they're pretty thin. But you could turn them under and then stitch. You could use the serger. You could do a rolled hem. You could do any kind of seam finish that you want. So I hope this helped you guys figure out how to do a simple pocket. There's definitely a lot of different varieties of how to do pockets, but I hope this helps get you started. Hope to see you back next time. Enjoy. Bye.